Greetings. Now I will show you how to mount a BURNiT Pell burner to a BURNiT WBS Active boiler. You will need a 13 wrench, big and small flat screwdrivers. BURNiT Pell burner with power recommended for your boiler. Mounting kit for the burner and turbulators corresponding to your boiler power. First remove the lower protective door. With the wrench remove both plates from the door. In the kit you will find a gasket and a mounting plate. Use the same nuts to screw them to the door. Push in the burner and screw the top holding nut. To screw the other two holding nuts, loose the burner cover. After mounting the burner, we have to install the temperature sensor that measures the boiler temperature. Loose the 4 screws holding the front top panel. To remove the panel, push top and pull to you. From this opening in the panel, push the temperature sensor. Place it with the other sensors. Mount back the panel. Using the provided manual, connect the pumps and sensors to the burner. To mount the turbulators, remove the upper protective door. Take the top turbulator and care for its position. This end must be in the back and pointed top. Push to the back of the boiler. Put back the upper protective door. place the lower turbulator at its place. Now I will show you the service menu. Press and hold the F and Enter buttons. You see the hardware and software version of the burner. Press Enter to go on the next screen. The service code is 00000012. Confirm with F to enter the service parameters. Here set the time for the burner fan and cleaning system to work. On the next screen choose when the self-cleaning system will work. It can work when the boiler starts, when the boiler stops, or both as we advise. On the next screen we set the first dose of pellets needed for ignition, and the number of attempts if the burner doesn't start from the first time. Take those values from the provided manual. On the next screen set the parameters for igniting the fuel. First set the time for which the lighter will work. We advise this time to be 3 minutes. And then set the time for which the fan will work using the provided manual. On the last row the first value is the power of the burner fan. The second value must be set to 1 because it is not active here. On the next screen we can set the temperature of the boiler, at which the burner goes from maximum to average, and from average to minimum power. For example, if we set here 8, 3 and 0, and the maximum set temperature of the boiler is 85. At 78 degrees the boiler will go from maximum to average, and at 82 degrees it will go from maximum to minimum power. On the next screen we adjust the burning process at full power. Take those values from the provided manual. On the next screen we adjust the burning process at average power. Again use the manual to set these values. On the next screen we adjust the burning process at minimum power. Again, use the manual to set these values. On the next screen we adjust the burning process in suspend mode. The burner goes in that mode when it reaches the maximum set temperature of the boiler. The purpose of that mode is to keep the burner flame without raising the boiler temperature, and to prevent the burner from extinguishing. On the next screen, set the time for the suspend mode. If the time is set to 0, the mode will be deactivated, and the burner will go to extinguish mode when it reaches maximum temperature. The next screen is only for the Pell 35 Eco. There is only one parameter you must set on the other BURNiT Pell burners. This time must be 0. This will prevent the self-cleaning to activate during burning. On the next screen you can set when the burner to stop and self-clean. You can set from 1 to 6 cleanings per 24 hours in exact time. The minimum number of procedures is 1. On the next screen, activate or deactivate the devices connected to the boiler. The central heating pump, domestic hot water pump, and room thermostat. On the next screen, choose how to control the boiler. It can be by the boiler thermostat temperature or the buffer temperature. If the second option is chosen, the boiler may still stop before the buffer is heated to the desired temperature, because it will reach its own maximum temperature. From the next screen, you activate or deactivate the components of the burner. The inner feeder of the burner, the self-cleaning system. If the thermostat option is checked, we have chosen the thermostat to be normally open. If not checked, we have chosen normally closed thermostat. On the next screen, set the ratio between the auger of the burner and the external feeding auger. For example, if we set it to 300% and the feeding auger is set to 10 seconds, the auger of the burner will work for 30 seconds. To make sure all the pellets go to the burning chamber, set 300%. On the next menu, set conditions for ignition and extinguish of the burner. If the light sensor is in light more than 100 for more than 20 seconds, The controller goes to normal burning mode when the feeding with pellets is stopped and the light sensor register 40 or below for more than 60 seconds. The controller registers there is no flame and goes to self-cleaning. On the next screen, set the maximum temperature of the boiler. It can also be set from the client's menu. Next few screens are testing menus. The first one tests the fan of the burner and you change the speed with up and down buttons. Next menu is not available on BURNiT Pell. On the next screen we can test the outputs. FF is for the fuel feeder. BF is for the burner inner feeder. CH activates central heating pump and the light on the left. DHW activates domestic hot water pump and the light on the right. IGN activates the lighter of the burner. CM activates the self-cleaning system of the burner. Hold the F button to enter the customer settings. On the first screen, set the temperature at which the central heating pump activates. On the next screen, using up and down buttons, you can set the clock. Again, with up and down buttons, set the date. Next step is to fill up the hopper and calibrating the feeder. Plug in the feeder directly to the electricity grid. Wait until it is full of pellets, which can take 20 to 30 minutes. put a plastic bag and wait another 15 to 20 minutes after the pellets start dropping. Empty the plastic bag and use chronometer to measure 10 minutes. After that time, use scale to weigh the pellets in the bag. Using the formula, calculate the feed in different modes. Last step is connecting the flexible pipe and plug the fuel feeder to the burner socket. We already calculated the feed and now we enter the values in the controller. At maximum power we enter 7 seconds. The cycle is constant and it is 20 seconds. And the burner fan speed should be taken from the provided manual. At average power we enter 50% of the maximum, so 3.5 seconds. Cycle is again constant and the fan speed is from the manual. At minimum power we enter 30% of the maximum, so 2.1 seconds. Cycle is again constant and the fan speed is from the manual. Now we can proceed to ignition. Switch from standby to auto mode. On the top right corner you can see a symbol which shows that the burner is in cleaning mode. When you see the flame symbol on the top right corner, the lighter is activated and the auger is transporting fuel. Wait for the enlighten of the light sensor to go above 100 for 20 seconds. So the burner goes to normal burning mode. The flame symbol and the number 3 shows the burner is at maximum power. Wait between 1 and 2 hours for the system to get warm. and use gas analyzer to adjust the burning process. We see the oxygen level is above the normal. Here it should be between 8 and 8.5%. Slow down the fan with 3 in maximum mode. Wait for 10 minutes and again check with gas analyzer. As we see, the burning process is improved. Repeat that for average and minimum power. Lower the maximum temperature of the boiler in order to go to that modes. Again wait for 10 minutes and check with gas analyzer. The desired oxygen level here is 11 to 11.5%, so slow down the fan in average mode. After another 10 minutes we check again and see that the oxygen level is still too high. So we slow down the fan again. This time the burning process is successfully improved. Lower the maximum temperature of the boiler again to go in minimum power mode. The oxygen level here is okay and we don't need any changes.